Namoki brand sent me in this watch for review. I don't have to send this watch back, but they have no other hand in this review. It's just my honest opinion about it. So let's take a look exactly what they have to offer. Now, normally Namoki is known for their mods and their kits as far as it goes, but I wanted to take a look at a watch that they have constructed and available for purchase as far as it goes, because I was quite curious how they compare. If you guys are aware of my other videos, I purchase a lot of watches and watch parts rather from AliExpress, and I wanted to see what would be the quality of parts that they have constructed specifically for a model that they sent in. And we're taking a look at this NMK04 is the model, all blacked out, very nice, PVD coated and DLC coated on particular parts, and we'll get into that. 40 millimeter case diameter, 41.3 at the top of the bezel portion, 47.5 millimeter lug to lug diameter listed. I'm getting 47.3 millimeters on my measurements, 45.3 millimeter from bezel to crown on the watch width, 22 millimeters lug width, 16 millimeters of thickness as listed, but I'm getting 15.5 millimeters on my calibers, NH35, a water resistance of 200 meters, and the watch weighs in at 180 grams and 94 grams for the watch only. Starting with the case back, we have a sterile one. It's polished on the edge and brushed in the center. And I think it's hard to tell the type of coating on this, honestly, whether it's PVD or DLC as far as it goes. But honestly, it's well machined as far as it goes. There's deep cutouts for the case back remover to grip tight on that case back in case you have to get inside that watch for whatever reason. So I was rather already impressed by that as far as it goes. Flipping her back over, the case is of Submariner homage style, polished on the sides, brushed on the top of the lugs, and brushed on the underside of the case. The bezel, lumed ceramic DSSD style, which stands for deep sea dweller. The bezel insert is an off-white appearance. It has no backplay, which I'm happy to report. Now, there's no 15-minute marker like we normally see in dive watches, and that's probably because they wanted to keep it more of a stealth mode. Now, when you do the clicks on this, it does have 120 clicks, but it is somewhat muffled than what you're normally used to on an all stainless steel, probably because the watch is totally covered and coated with the PVD or DLC coating. We've got clear anti-reflective coating on a double dome sapphire crystal. And for the crown, it's unsigned, 7 millimeters in width, protected by polished crown guards. The watch hands are also lumed, Mercedes styles for the hour hand and an index minute hand with a midway lollipop second hand that extends to the edge of the dial. The indices are applied with that typical circle, rectangle, triangle at the 12 combo. Lume filled plots outlined in a polished stainless steel manner. A singular complication for the watch, stealth mode date wheel style, both blending and exposing the complication at the aperture. At the 12 position on the dial, we have what looks like to be a percentage symbol as far as it goes, but it is the company's logo. Standard thin bars for the minutes, slightly larger every 5 minutes on the value. At the 6 o'clock, Namoki is spelled out bold letters. On the website though, it isn't showing that, so I'm not sure if maybe they're using that as advertisement for sending me the watch. 600 feet, 200 meters, and automatic under it, making it effectively a 3-liner for the watch that was sent to me. The bracelet, PVD black oyster style, solid male end links, and it has a screwed in solid links, polished on the sides, brushed in the middle, DLC coated on the clasp for greater scratch resistance, milled solid clasp with a press down deployment button combination, with a fold over secure clasp with an engraving on it for their company logo. 3 points of tooled micro adjustment, 0 sharpness on the edging of this bracelet, which was very nice and something that I did note versus the AliExpress watches and AliExpress parts that I get as far as stainless steel bracelets are concerned. The lume overall on the watch is rather responsive and super bright from the dial all the way up to the bezel. There appears to be a heavy amount of lume paint applied onto the watch handsomely, so they did a great job as far as that goes. One of the greatest strengths for Namoki is they offer different parts and components of high quality for you to purchase and make the watch your own. Stylistic wise, whatever kind of customization that you want to put into the watch, you're able to do so after purchasing a watch that's already put together. And maybe building a watch from scratch isn't for you, so you rather receive the watch fully installed, and then you want to do your small modifications as you go along the way, so it's not as complicated. So that's why I think that this is a good option for you to do that versus getting your parts from AliExpress, which may be slightly more affordable. Again, I've made a bunch of different custom mods from AliExpress exclusively. However, purchasing parts from Namoki is going to be of a higher caliber. Another strength that I've gotten an impression from the watch is that PVD and DLC coating applied. I feel like it's of high quality. I think it was done correct, and it's done in a handsome amount where the watch is fully covered. Everything is applied nice and evenly. It's hard to even tell the difference between the two at certain points, leaving it almost impossible to notice. Now, this is the first time for me. I never in my wildest dreams imagined bringing up a spring bar as a strength, but their spring bars are actually very thick compared to a conventional spring bar that you see in most bracelets. And it was a lot easier for me to install the bracelet. Like, you know, when you're fishing around the spring bar to find that hole for it to connect. Well, when I put the bracelet back onto the watch, it actually went right into place. I barely had to move around the bracelet to find that connection, but it does act as a double-edged sword, and I'll explain that in the improvement section. I mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it again. The sharpness of the edging of the case, and especially on the bracelet, feels of high quality. You don't have any sharpness on the edges of it as far as it goes, so you can tell that you're getting a higher quality bracelet, and it feels of great quality, being completely solid and milled. What's really nice is Namoki is also offering eligibility for a free or discounted express international shipping. There's obviously a threshold for the cost of the unit that you're purchasing, but at least it's nice to have that offer if you are meeting that cap. Some improvements to the watch. Drilled lugs would be one. I definitely think that the watch should have drilled lugs. Again, I mentioned that spring bar being a double-edged sword, and the spring bar is actually harder to fish out when you want to remove it as far as it goes, and maybe a quick release wouldn't be the answer to the straps. I think that having drilled lugs is better to do so, because no matter what strap you end up putting on it, whether it has quick release or not, you'll be able to remove it easily. The crown doesn't have a signed logo. Is it necessary to have one? I don't know if that's an improvement. I don't know if that's maybe more of my opinion, but I think they have a pretty cool logo, and I personally wouldn't mind if that crown was signed, in my opinion. I do, however, strongly feel that the design fatigue for that Mercedes hands is definitely a stronger opinion that I have on it. I think that they would do best by having a different set of hands on the watch as far as it goes, just to separate it out a little bit more from those homage watches that we see ever so often, just playing out those Mercedes hands. A bit of a design fatigue, if you will. For sure, I know that you guys would probably agree on this as well. An on-the-fly adjustment instead of the tooled adjustment of the 3 points that we have on the clasp. On the fly adjustment is very, very nice. I love my bracelets, and even in the summertime, I guess I just like to wear them regardless of the expanding of my wrist or not. And having an on the fly adjustment where I don't need to use a tool would be very nice. Lastly, I have an opinion about the website. They do give you some frequently used parts that are paired with the watch, but I think that they should list every single part that you can swap out on the watch from the website when you're looking at the particular model, and possibly even show photos of each and every one of those parts swapping in or out, just so you can get an idea or a better grasp of how it would look with the selected item. So those are my hot takes on this Namoki NMK04. I overall give it an A. I was expecting for it to be of higher caliber parts, and I was not let down with what I was presented with. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below of the watch, if you do own it and or if you do shop frequently with Namoki. I appreciate you guys for checking out this review, and of course, it all started with a watch, and in this case, a customizable watch. No matter where your watch collection journey takes you, no matter how you decide to collect, you guys are all welcome on this channel and in this community, as you should be. I appreciate you guys for checking out the review, and I'll see you guys in the next one.